have been very positive, and different sectors indicated that they will support the government's hospitality campaign to launch various activities to create a synergy effect. We will all work together to make Hong Kong's image as a city of hospitality shine again. We've also produced a short clip and further promote the quality tourism service scheme to encourage everyone in different sectors to work with us. In terms of work in the community, we will further recruit members of the public under the Hong Kong Pass volunteer program to work in visitor centers and share information with visitors. In terms of publicity, the Tourism Board will launch a series of new publicity video clips to encourage members of the public to go the extra mile under the campaign. Riding on a series of activity, I hope that everyone will show visitors our hospitality and to make visitors welcome to consolidate our position as a prime destination. I will ask Jeff, the Acting Secretary for Education, and Eureka, the Deputy Secretary of the Home Affairs Department, to talk to you more. Thank you, Secretary. As the Secretary said, that our work will go and will cover different sectors. Now we have Mr. Jeff C., the Acting Secretary for Education, to talk about a detail of the government's work in terms of the education sector. Mr. Yang, the Secretary, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I will give you information about the work to be taken up by the education sector to support the hospitality campaign. The education sector has always attached importance to fostering correct values and attitudes among students so that they will conduct themselves in a polite way and treat others with courtesy. This is in line with the spirit of the campaign. To support the campaign and to encourage everyone to go the extra mile, the Education Bureau will encourage schools to do more and to enhance the students' understanding of the importance of courtesy. We will produce a series of teaching and learning resources, including publicity information produced by the Tourism Board to promote hospitality and enhance visitor experience. We also encourage schools to plan the activities that are related to courtesy, say, for example, through the use of student book, school rules, weekly and morning assemblies, moral education and personal growth subjects, and hospitality subjects and other relevant subjects, as well as different activities to teach students. On top of that, the Bureau has always been working with schools to launch a courtesy program. On top of that, we will liaise with various uniform bodies and other district bodies to mobilize their network to get everyone to participate in the hospitality campaign, and there will be courtesy ambassadors being nominated to promote the work. Circulars will be issued to schools this week. The education sector will work with the government, the tourism sector, as well as various other sectors to promote this campaign.
葉女士為我哋介紹一下點樣帶動全港。
Now we invite Deputy Director of Home Affairs, Ms. Eureka Zheng, to tell us how the relevant department takes part in the hospitality campaign. Good afternoon. To support the hospitality campaign, the HAD will give our full support. We will mobilize the community groups and organizations in all 18 districts to disseminate the relevant message. We need to rely on different sectors to take the lead so that tourists and visitors can, through catering and tourism or sightseeing activities, to have a good experience. At the community level, the HAD would like to make an effort through Organizing community activities in all 18 districts, we will promote the message of good hospitality. We want to create that atmosphere to enhance visitors' experience. We will support the campaign on two fronts. First, we will promote community participation. The HAD in all districts will, together with the Civic and Youth Development Commission, organize activities to promote the idea of hospitality and to create and build such a culture. We'll also promote hospitality. The 18 district offices will, through their networks at the community level, launch promotional campaigns. For instance, we will disseminate promotional materials, broadcast promotional videos to disseminate information about the hospitality campaign. Through a series of promotional activities and campaigns, we hope to work with members of the public so that we can garner support at the community level to help promote hospitality culture. Thank you, Ms. Chen. It is the responsibility of everyone in the community to promote the hospitality campaign. We have representatives from different government bureaus and departments, as well as representatives from the tourism sector to take part in this activity today. We now invite Mr. Ching, Chairman of the Hong Kong Island School Heads, Mr. Kwok Man Kwan, Chairman of the Kowloon Region School Heads Association, Mr. Yao Xiu Hong, Kelvin, Vice Chairman of the New Territory Schools Heads Association, Mr. Ivan Wong, Chief Executive of the Ocean Park, Hong Kong, Ms. Maureen Fong, Founding Chairman of the Institute of Shopping Centre Management, Ms. Belinda Yeung, Vice Chairman of the Federation of Hong Kong Hotel Owners, Mrs. Gianna Xu, Chairman of the Travel Industry Council of Hong Kong, Mr. Winston Chow, Vice Chairman of the Quality Tourism Services Association, Mrs. Annie Chey, Chairman of the Hong Kong Retail Management Association, Ms. Becky Ip, Deputy Executive Director of the Hong Kong Tourism Board, Ms. Stacy Sit, VP of Marketing of the Hong Kong Disneyland Resort, Ms. Lee Yi-Ying, Chairman of the Hong Kong Subsidized Secondary Schools Council, Ms. Chung Lai Kam Cathy, Chairman of the Hong Kong Aided Primary School Heads Association, Ms. Che from the Islands District Office, Ms. Liu from the Central and Western District Office, Ms. Apollonia Liu from the Information Services Department, Mr. Eddie Chen, Director of Broadcasting, Ms. Vivian Sun, Commissioner of Tourism, Acting Secretary for Education, Mr. Jeff See, Dr. Y.K. Pan, Chairman of the Hong Kong Tourism Board, as well as Mr. Kevin Yeung, Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism. We have also invited some volunteers as well as staff from the Information Service Center to come take a photo with us. We've also prepared some props as well as graphics and pictures that show the slogan of this hospitality campaign. So guests may carry the props as they take the photos.
咁準備好嘅話咧，我哋可以開始。
If you're ready, please look at the cameras.
咁我哋不如轉一個姿勢，我哋可以舉起右手拇指俾個 like。
Perhaps we can do a thumbs up in front of the cameras.
好啦，咁最後啦，我哋亦都想邀請各位。
Lastly, we'd like to invite all guests on the stage to read out the slogan. Let's go the extra mile. 1, 2, 3. Let's go the extra mile. Thank you. We will work together to launch the hospitality campaign to receive tourists and visitors from all over the world. This is the end of the ceremony. I now invite all guests to be seated. Afterwards, Mr. Kevin Yeung will go on the stage to answer any questions from the press.
Hi, 各位傳媒朋友，稍為等我哋 set 一 set 個場啦。
Please wait for a while. We're going to have the Q&A session soon. Before you ask any questions, please let us know the organization you represent, and please limit yourself to 2 questions. Thank you.
你 ready 就得，係。各位傳媒朋友，咁啊而家
Friends from the media, Mr. Yeung, the Secretary, will take questions. But I asked you all to focus on questions on the hospitality campaign first. The lady with long hair in the second row. I'm from Now TV. In 2004, the Tourism Commission has launched a similar campaign. There were also very well-known video clips as well. 10 years on, there is yet another similar campaign. Are you worried that there will be the impression that you're just rehashing old ideas? What is the budget for the campaign? How do you assess the effectiveness of the campaign? How do you ensure that after the campaign, things won't go back to where they were before? Well, I think that it is long-term work to make sure that everyone will keep up with the hospitality spirit. You're right. Every so often, depending on the actual situation, we launch various campaigns as a reminder and to cater for changes in society. We think that we need to do our work again. Last year, cross-boundary tourism resumed, and we've gone through a winter of tourism over the epidemic. Very few visitors came to Hong Kong during that time. In the past year, I'm sure you see that a lot of people have put in a lot of work. The work has paid off in terms of bringing more visitors and economic activities in Hong Kong. We think it's a good chance for us to launch a campaign to take our work one step forward. In addition, some incidents happened. They gave the impression that Hong Kong people are not as hospitable as we used to be. But you know that majority of practitioners in different sectors are polite, courteous, and hospitable. However, there may be some black sheep, and these incidents might have been covered widely by the media. We want to draw the attention of the public to pay attention to being courteous and being hospitable again. The concept of travel destinations is everywhere in Hong Kong, makes everyone realize that everywhere is a travel destination in Hong Kong. So many more people or businesses will now receive visitors when they used to receive locals only. So we need to remind everyone to be hospitable and courteous when they receive visitors. As it is something that is ongoing and continuous, there is no need to earmark an amount of money specifically for this purpose. You will see this evening on TV and different platforms a new series of publicity production, where there was a pre-show last week. It was funded by the budget of the Tourism Board. You heard the government's work under the Education Bureau as well as the Home Affairs Department. They will be using their own resources to do the work. You see that this is long-term work, not just work that lasts for 3 to 5 months. We're talking about long-term work covering all quarters in our society. Later this week, there may be the transport sector taking part in promoting hospitality. We need to keep up the work continuously to keep up the spirit of hospitality. I'm from Phoenix TV. My name is Scarlett. I have a couple of questions. There was a water bomb concert the weekend past. It was quite popular. Please ask about the hospitality campaign as well. Yes, I'm asking along this line. People said that the arrangement for that concert was not that good. Would it be the case that after the launch of the campaign, the arrangements and organization of activities and concerts will improve? Will there be further tourism resources available or different tourism products in areas like the West Kowloon Cultural District? Perhaps your questions will be answered later. We'll hear from another reporter first. I'm from Singtao. In answer to Now TV's question, Secretary, are there any indicators or any way to assess the effectiveness of the campaign? There was a research conducted by the LegCo saying that in Korea there will be a territory-wide Wi-Fi and also specially designed toilets. Will the government launch new measures in the future? Secretary, you mentioned about some incidents where people were treated impolitely. Will there be actions taken to respond to that? Say, for example, undercover operations. Will there be advice given? Will there be penalties imposed? I want to make it clear that we're talking about the attitude and mentality of serving visitors. We'll do our work on different fronts, say, for example, attracting visitors and improving the image of Hong Kong people. The hospitality campaign will cover these areas. You cited a couple of examples of other countries. These measures are dedicated to attract visitors. We have similar ones as well. We promote tourist attractions, we organize mega events, and these are the measures we have to attract visitors. When it comes to our hospitality campaign, I think we're talking about going the extra mile, not just about giving out free tickets or subsidies. We're talking about something that is of a higher level. Will you do a bit more when you serve others to enhance their experience when they spend money? Will you do the extra mile to make visitors feel warmly received? So it's not just about increasing funding, giving out freebies, or counting the number of tourist attractions. We improve tourism infrastructures. When it comes to smart tourism, we launch measures to make it easier for visitors to visit Hong Kong. Under this particular campaign, we're talking more about spirit of being hospitable. Regarding assessment, as I said, this is work for the long term. We're not thinking about indicators to measure the effectiveness over the short term. What we want to show is that when you go to restaurants and shops, you have an experience, and we want everyone to have a good experience. And it is done well. I think there will be positive effects in other areas as well. Well, the incidents I mentioned are not ones that are illegal, because if that happens, reports will be made to law enforcement agencies. By that I mean, say for example, overcharging, some kind of deception. What I'm talking about under the campaign is what we can do to be better. If we are aware of individual cases, we will contact respective organizations. If need be, we give them advice or assistance. We want to handle it in a positive way. We want everyone to progress. If things weren't done well, then we hope that we can help them to improve. If it's already done well, we would like them to do better.
Let's take another question about the hospitality campaign. The reporter in the middle. Yes. Good afternoon, I'm from TVB. How many members from the public do you think will support this campaign? Would there be a reward or penalty system? We see that you have invited a lot of representatives from different sectors to join the campaign, but oftentimes we see people are rude from, say, small shops in Hong Kong. Some even think being rude is part of the characteristic of Hong Kong people. Some also say that because of a lack of manpower, it makes us fail to be hospitable. How do you think we can improve our service attitude? Thank you. Different sectors may face different problems. Some are facing a problem of a manpower shortage. Well, the government has been thinking how to help boost manpower for individual retail outlets or eateries. There may be manpower shortage during busy hours. What we advocate is that we should go the extra mile in order to be hospitable. We face different problems in our daily lives. For instance, within the government, some departments or bureaus may face heavy workload. As we come across visitors or tourists, we should try our best to be hospitable. We want to provide quality tourism services. A single hospitality campaign may not help solve all problems we encounter. However, it is crucial that we display the hospitality spirit. It's about how we can go the extra mile to make tourists, visitors, or even local people happy, and that they would be satisfied with the services they receive. This is the spirit behind our hospitality campaign. We'll take the last question. How about the reward and penalty scheme? Well, as mentioned, we want to hold more reward schemes. Reward schemes may be ones that encourage good attitude or good services. I think as long as we are willing to make an effort, we should be recognized for that effort. The rewards may be given by the government or by the community. We should commend those who display good behaviors. I also hope to see improvement in people's attitude. Any other questions about the hospitality campaign? I'm from One Way Poll. How are you going to assess the hospitality culture in Hong Kong compared with the mainland and Singapore, for instance? Will this hospitality spirit or culture be integrated in, for instance, the Landhouse South program, or will you impose indicators relating to hospitality when you enter into contracts with contractors? I think hospitality is crucial, especially for the service industry. When we promote the campaign, we asked the Education Bureau as well as the Home Affairs Department and other organizations and parties to join us as we launch the campaign. We want to promote this hospitality spirit at all levels of the community, including schools. In the long run, we hope that this can be a basic requirement for people, that is to display the hospitality spirit. Your first question is about, right, to compare our performance with other places. Well, I think the situation as well as the cultural backgrounds are different in different places. What is important that we should cultivate in people this hospitality spirit, and that we can express that effectively. I believe if we are genuine, our visitors and tourists will be able to feel that it's not about what you do, for instance, whether you bow to people or not. What is important is we have to make tourists and visitors feel the hospitality spirit. It can be displayed through a smile or a little chit-chat, or whether you're able to help answer some inquiries from visitors. I believe we all have the DNA to be hospitable and to be courteous. I believe we'll be able to do well in this regard. To respond to the other question, your second question is about whether we will do more in promoting this hospitality culture. As mentioned, we will continue to provide more tourism facilities if necessary. We will continue to discover new tourism attractions. We'll even build new tourism infrastructure so that we can bring new appeal, attractiveness, and experience to visitors. You mentioned that 2 days ago at the WKCD there was an event. There were poor arrangements in the event. It was a privately held event, and the tourism board helped promote the event because it was a large-scale event. Therefore, the tourism board offered its help. In terms of the operation, it was a private event, and the organizer was responsible for implementing the arrangements. Well, as you learned from the media reports, the event took place in Hong Kong, so we did pay attention to what was reported. We didn't want to give people the impression that we don't do well in holding large-scale events. Therefore, we offered our advice to the relevant organizers to remind them to be well prepared for any emergency situations in the future. For the organizers, the participants were like their clients. We want our clients to have a good and quality experience. We reminded, and in fact we will remind all organizers that from May until September and October there will be a drastic change in weather, so organizers should be prepared if they are to hold outdoor events and activities. There should be contingency plans to deal with inclement weather. I believe most of the organizers, well, in fact, all organizers, they will want to ensure success of the events. So the government will offer support because we also want to ensure success of all the events held in Hong Kong. So we remind organizers to take all types of preventive measures, and if possible, government departments will offer any support we can. That's the end of the press conference. Thank you.